Problem solving is the process of comprehending a problem and working toward an effective solution. Depending on the nature and complexity of the problem, it may require the use of mathematical operations and may put your critical thinking skills to the test. Problem solving is an aspect of everyone's work, whether you're an entry-level employee or a manager. Problems may be resolved by a project manager for their clients and team members, while individual contributors may resolve a problem for either themselves or their coworkers. Consequently, it's crucial for every employee to comprehend the problem-solving method and cultivate problem-solving abilities. When employers discuss problem solving, they are usually attempting to assess your ability and skills to deal with the difficult situations and complex business problems. Almost all employers value problem solving abilities and seek employees with these traits to aid in decision making in the day-to-day operations of the company. There's four main steps of problem solving, which goes as number one, problem solving identification, that goes as problem existence, definition of problem, cause of problem. Number two is solution design. Number three is choice. Number four is implementation. A problem is generally considered to be a task or situation which is difficult to deal with or control due to complexity and intransparency. In everyday language, a problem is a question proposed for solution, a matter stated for examination or proof. Finally, it can be summarized as a difficulty that has to be resolved or dealt with.
Lack of strategy. Many of the most common MIS issues can be traced back to a lack of solid strategy. Information system leaders are aware of the many tools available gather data on their network, but putting that information to use is often a challenge. Meeting organizational need. MIS plays an ever-increasing organizations with a professional relying technology for every aspect of operations, sales and marketing, really heavy on customer relationship software to track client interactions, for instance, while accounting needs its own software for billing, invoicing, and financial tracking. Attracting and retaining top talent for at least the past couple decades, the gross Enriquinolo nas audition number of people interned the field over the past 7 out of 10 years. IT positions have been in the top 10 of jobs with the most hiring challenges as documented by Manpower Group. The professionals thrustle demand include developers and programmers, database administrators, and IT leaders and managers. Integrating a new technology. Also, there are plenty of comprehensive solution business, while inevitably find that they have multiple type of software operating at once. This include general administrative tool like Microsoft Office, as well as specialized tool for accounting, customer relationship management, and project management tools, among many other. Ensuring all these tools work together is essential, since otherwise employees will find they have to duplicate organizational problem, outdated business process, unsupportive culture and attitude, political infighting, turbulent business environment change, complexity of tasks, inadequate resources, technology problems, insufficient or again hardware, outdated software, inadequate database capacity, insufficient telecommunication capacity, incompletely of all system with technology, rapid technological change. People problems, lack of employee training, difficulties of evaluating performance, legal and regulatory complements, work environment, ergonomics, poor or indecisive management, lack of employee support and participators.
Solution design is a high-level visual depiction of business solutions that outlines how the organization will maximize the effectiveness of the solution and minimizing cost of time required for implementation. The story begins when the organization's stakeholders recognize a specific business need and decide to take action. Initially, these requirements are wide, for example, devising and implementing an algorithm to estimate the demand for umbrellas during the rainy season. Requirements are expressed and revised during requirement collecting, which is normally performed by business analysts, and the findings are documented in a BRD. Solution designers at Intelligent are involved in the creation of the project framework from the start of the project. Depending on the stage of the project, such as enhancement or new development activity is divided into levels, and artifacts are created at each level that can be used by various stakeholders. A solution designer collaborates with several stakeholders to gather end user needs and communicate adjustments identified based on the elicited requirements. Changes in architecture and technology are needed. Impacts on the interconnected systems are discovered and acknowledged in functional and non-functional specifications process flows. The mechanism of this stage is to implement adjustments after the problem has been resolved in order to complete the problem-solving approach. Can we begin implement what the business plans to do? Building a solution or buying one. The solution must then be tested and personnel must be trained on it. The corporation needs to replace the management as just a result of a change that have occurred in order to avoid more issues. In this phase, we will use the new approach for evaluating the results to determine whether the solution was worthwhile or not. The implementers must provide management with feedback and an evaluation of the solution at the conclusion. The problem must be accurately identified and represented if a plan is to be implemented successfully. Expert problem solvers modify their approaches more frequently, analyze more options, carefully consider options before eliminating them, and come to more practical conclusions when applying a method.